Perfect. So, welcome to Wednesday Winners. We do this every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern sharp. It's a little bit of finesse training. So, sometimes we cover broad topics in national trainings. This is to really go and delve deep into specific areas. Something that agents might be having trouble with. I am the agent mentor for a few different agencies. I help the Alvarez agency with their new folks. I help Aaron's new folks and all of his base shop and his sub managers. And then I help the Lifert agency. So you all have seen me, or if this is your first time, welcome. I'll be helping you out in the very beginning, getting you going. So what I wanted to talk about tonight, what I wanted to dive into is tie downs. So we're in a virtual world and we've been here for about, wow, over 2 years. I started back in like late November 2019. My first full month was December 2019. And then 3 months later, we had COVID. So I completely changed everything. I was originally doing what everybody else was doing, which was face to face. You'd travel, you'd go right to their home, no matter how far it was. You would do travel trips. So if you didn't have leads in your state, you would grab leads in another state and you'd travel all the way to that state, stay there the week or a few days. So now we can do it from our home. I mean, how awesome is that? You don't even have to. I mean, the trip to my office is like 25 steps instead of 25 miles. So it's pretty cool. But back then when you did your phone script, just for a little bit of context, they were quick sets. You could set the appointment in 3 minutes or less, and it didn't matter if they wanted to cancel or not because you just showed up to their house. I can't tell you how many times people called me trying to cancel the appointment, and I would just show up, and we'd end up talking and writing business regardless. So yeah, that's still a way you can do things. Definitely, if you have local leads, face to face is a good option. But with virtual, people can just not show up. They can just, not open their computer, log on to Zoom, or they might forget because, they don't have to get the house ready because someone's coming over, right? So tie downs are extremely important. It's a big part of your business. And it's probably, the biggest, there's three big things with your phone script, and tie downs is one of the thirds. Because if you can't get people to show up, you're not helping people. If you're not helping people, guess what? You don't get paid. And we get paid to help people. A couple of quick announcements. We have our 20K call on Friday at 10 a.m. What that does, it's run by Aaron Gooderman and the 20K plus producers. So you get to ask questions. It's an open forum call. You get to ask questions to any 20K plus producer, anything that you're struggling with. This is huge. It really helped me shape as a new agent because I wasn't afraid to ask any questions. There's no such thing as dumb questions. Sometimes the questions will go in deeper and you'll get a bunch of explanations for it. Really utilize that. That's going to help you grow. It's going to help you hear different perspectives from other 20K producers. So really use that. That's 10 a.m. Eastern on Friday. Make sure when you hop on, you mute your line because it is an open call. If you don't mute your line and we hear you doing dishes or something, we will mute you permanently and you won't be able to ask questions. Then we have a builder's call coming up, I believe Friday at noon. I'll have to double check on that. But with Art Leeser, yes, Friday at noon, we have a live builder's call. So if you want to share this opportunity and you want to be a builder, hop on that call. It's going to be live on Facebook. Last thing is workplace engagement. Workplace is a great tool for us to communicate, but it's not just that. You should be engaging in anything we have to offer, especially if you're new. Yeah, I get it if you got a job and you have a prior commitment, but do not set appointments in during training time because knowledge is way more valuable in the beginning than making money. I haven't missed anything unless it was a family emergency or, like I'm going on away on my anniversary weekend. This weekend, I'll still be on the calls. I'll still listen in. When I was working my full-time job while I was doing TLG, I had an earpiece in, right? Just to listen in. It's important to stay engaged and stay with it. It's going to keep you excited. It's going to give you some hope. Sometimes you get a little lonely and you feel like you're not doing enough. It's going to allow you to communicate with your uplines, and it's going to keep you upbeat and positive and moving forward. So make sure you're paying attention to your workplace chats. So let's go on tie downs. So for you new guys, what a tie down is, it is making an appointment and making sure it sticks. So it's a way to make an appointment stick. For instance, in a phone script, if I say, hey, we're going to set an appointment at 4:30. Does that work for you? Yes, that works for you. And then later on in the script, I'm going to say, what time did we say again? They're going to repeat back to me 4:30. What did that do? Well, that lets them know, oh, 4:30. I'm making them repeat it so that they remember it better, right? The very first thing that you need to do is make sure that if you're not doing a live transfer or one call close, you need to set your appointments no farther out than 24 hours virtually, no farther out. The reason being is because anytime after 24 hours, guess what happens? They forget, right? How many of you people have set an appointment a week or two out and then the in-person never shows? I have, right? Because we give in. This is our selling system, right? This is our time. The clients are on our time. They ask us for help. It's not rude. We can accommodate them with their needs, but we need to educate them a little bit so that we can get them to understand the importance. And I'll show you how to do that. So you want to have at least 3 or 4 tie downs in your script. In the beginning, when we were doing face-to-face, we had maybe 1. Because like I said, we were just going to show up. But with virtual, you're going to want to have at least 3 tie downs. And how I do that is pretty straightforward and easy. The first is rapport. People don't remember you when from a 5-minute phone call. They're going to remember how you made them feel. Okay. So find some common ground. If you've got local leads, great. Talk about something local in the area that you know about. If they're not local leads, make sure you do some research and talk about something that's in that county that you know about. Just start perusing Google. Google's amazing. You can just start talking about anything. Any little bit of connection that is familiar to the client is going to familiarize you. So that's going to make them feel more comfortable. And guess what? When they feel comfortable, they feel good. They remember how you made them feel. Okay. So that's important to do. When you're finding the common ground, just chit chat for about maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Don't go too long, especially on these age leads. You just want to build it and then get to the point, right? People want to know the reason you're calling, so you don't want to spend too much time there. But as far as the appointment, this is how a phone script goes. Jess, could you do the phone script with me?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I'm going to call you, and
Okay.
I'll be the agent and you be the client. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Jess. I'm Lake. I'm getting back to you from the Mortgage Protection Center about a form you recently sent in. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. It's summer in Maine, so we can't complain, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So you remember that form, right?
Yes, I do remember, actually. My husband filled it
Perfect.
out.
Oh, he filled it out? Yeah. If I had a nickel for every time that my spouse filled out something for me, I think we'd be rich, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad you remember the form because, first of all, I'm not a salesman. I'm the field underwriter assigned to your case. So my job is to help you find coverage without having to do any sort of physical exam or anything like that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let me walk you through the process really quick. Now, Jess, when you first sat down to fill out this form with your husband and you guys talked about it, what was the concern and who are you looking to protect?
Both of our families.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Any kids?
Yes. 3.
Oh, awesome. 3. So that's a circus, right?
It was. Yes.
Yeah. They're all grown up now?
Yes, they're all grown and out on their own.
That must be a little bit of relief, right?
Not really.
I
I like them a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's great. Well, have you ever done a virtual appointment before?
I have.
Awesome. So that's what we do. We do 100% virtual. What time do you usually get home from work tomorrow?
About 6.
About 6. Okay. Looks like I'm with a family at that time, but I do have a 6:30 available. That works for you both, right?
Yes, that would be
Okay.
great.
Okay. And I've got your email as jess@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, Jess, is I'm going to send you an email with the link attached to it to the Zoom. Could you do me a favor and just send me a quick reply when you receive it? That way I can confirm the time with my office.
Yes.
Perfect. I don't want to get double booked in your slot. It's going to say mortgage protection link from Lake. And if you don't receive it in the next 5 minutes or so, it's probably went to spam. So double check.
Okay.
Okay. And just so I can keep our time short, let me get a little preliminary info out of the way. This will just take a minute. Have you ever had a heart attack, stroke, or cancer?
Nope.
Okay. How about your partner?
No.
Okay. Any diabetes or COPD?
He has diabetes.
Diabetes, is he taking pills or insulin?
Pills.
Okay, probably metformin.
That's correct.
Okay, you can see I've been doing this a while, right?
Yes. Good
Awesome.
job.
Any other medications for him?
No.
Okay, and any medications for you?
No.
Awesome. And what is his height and weight?
He is 6 foot. Okay. He's 6 foot, y'all.
Yep.
Nelson is 6 foot,
Yep.
180.
180.
No,
Perfect.
no, no. 220. 220.
220. Okay, awesome. So he's got a couple extra pizzas in there. That's okay. And it says here that you're both non-smokers.
That's correct.
Okay, and what is your height and weight?
5'6", 150.
Okay. And so you're both not on medications. I've got the mortgage here as 150,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. Is that a traditional 30-year loan or is it a less term?
It's a 30-year.
30-year. Awesome. Is it your first home together?
It is.
That's awesome. How does it feel?
Crazy. Awesome.
Yeah, crazy. The moving part is the worst, isn't it?
Yeah, cross country was pretty rough.
Cross country. How far was it?
1,700 miles.
1,700 miles. Oh my goodness. I bet you have some stories for when we talk.
Oh gosh, so many.
Okay, perfect. So that's everything that I need. It looks like you guys are gonna get qualified for our preferred rates. I'll know more once I dig into it. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at what time did we say again?
I believe we said 6:30.
6:30. Got it. So do you have a pen and paper, Jess?
I do.
Awesome. So my name is Lake, just like the body of water.
Okay.
And I will be talking to you guys about mortgage protection tomorrow at 6:30 p.m.
Perfect.
Awesome. Oh, and by the way, is there anything you might have forgotten about, like a dinner date or something, bringing the kids to practice or a doctor's appointment, anything like that that you can think of?
Nope, we're all free.
Awesome. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:30. Keep an eye out from that email. Let me know if you don't receive it. I'll give you a quick call to make sure I didn't like mess up the email or anything like that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome, Jess. You have a great night and talk to you tomorrow.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So did you see how many times I tied that down? Okay. First one was making sure I had the correct email and then I was sending her the email, right? She knows what the email title is, so it's really easy for her to find. I'm telling her what's in the subject line, making it incredibly easy for her to pick up. I'm also warning her about spam. When you get into this business and you're sending a lot of emails, sometimes your email gets flagged as spam and you can't help it. So you're going to send it, it's going to go to spam. So what's going to happen is you made sure that that's taken care of. John, I'll get to you once I'm done this thought. What was the next? Oh, then I set a solid time. I asked them when they got home from work, right? So that I didn't have to rush them. They get home at 6. I set it for a half an hour later. But I'm also setting a little bit of urgency by saying I'm with another family at that time, right? That's going to make their time seem a little bit more special, right? More apt to keep it. Oh, we can't be late because this guy's pretty busy, right? You want to make sure you have that sense of urgency. The next thing I did after I got all the medical info was I asked her to have a pen and paper in hand, right? Now, it was pretty simple. All I had to do is, hey, do you have a pen on you? You have a piece of pen and paper, right? Just be confident about it. Everybody can reach for a pen and paper unless they're driving, right? That's the other, sometimes that happens. But make her write down your name. Again, visual, writing down Lake, mortgage protection, 6:30. One thing that I should have added in was, hey, remind Nelson that we have this meeting tomorrow. Okay. So he's not blindsided, something like that. Okay. The next thing I did was what time did we say again? Making her repeat the time. Okay. And then the last thing was asking them if she had anything that we forgot about. Not everybody follows a strict schedule like I do, right? Not all of them are business owners. They're just going to fly by the seat of their pants. We all did that when we had our jobs, right? So we got to ask to make sure, especially if they have kids, right? Anything can come up with kids, or if they have a sick parent that might comes up, something comes up. So, and that's the moment where you can really shine with your clients. They said, well, my mother is in the hospital, so there might be something if something comes up, but we should be okay. Then I can say, great, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything's okay. Let's just keep an open line of communication if something happens, but I'll make sure we still squeeze you in. Sound good? Right? That makes them feel a lot more comfortable. But I was able to chat with Jess about a couple of different things, right? I was able to build some rapport. I made her laugh, right? Those are the things important. That's why I get really solid sets, is because I make people laugh, right? And I'm very confident. I'm not that much more confident than I was in the very beginning, because confidence is key, right? If you are confident, half the battle of setting appointments is done. I swear. JP can attest to this. I mean, it's all about confidence. JP, what was your question?
Just had to unmute. And you're absolutely right about confidence. So something you do different. I love what you did. I took some notes. I'm gonna consider putting this into my how I do it. But you didn't actually. I don't know if you did this just to get off with her and have this conversation. But you didn't actually wait till she found the email, ask her to go click yes that she's going. Any specific reason you don't, or you didn't do that?
That's just my style, but for new people, I would recommend definitely asking them while they're on the phone. Sometimes I do dials during the day and they're at work, so it's a little bit easier. But my next statement is, if they don't reply to your email, I told them, I'm going to call you to make sure I didn't mess up, right? And that just leaves open another point of contact for them to remember me. That's why I do it. Okay.
Okay.
So good question.
Yeah. I don't know that my sets are that much more solid because I do it or don't, but them going through the act of doing that is what I want them to see themselves doing and trying. So, right. But yeah, I like your style. If that works, it works. I just thought I'd bring it up real quick.
Yeah, it's something we can interchange with the writing it down, right? Yeah, the same type of thing. Having them go check their email right now, perfect option, right? The same thing of having them write it down and then just throw in there, hey, make sure you mention this to your spouse, and then throw something funny in there. We don't want to blindside them and have some strange bearded dude show up on a computer when they get home from work, right? So just think of something funny. Like, you guys can be really ridiculous and people will still laugh, right? It's not awkward. As long as you say it with confidence, you can pretty much say anything to anybody. So that was my thought there. Now I'm trying to remember what else I was going to say. Okay. Follow up. This is the last part of a tie down. Okay. It's very important to follow up. So you're going to want to email them the next day and say, hey, it was nice speaking with you yesterday. Just reminding you of our Zoom tonight at 6:30 p.m. See you then, Lake. Why do we do that? Boom. It's bringing it to their forefront again. Hey, I've got something going on tonight. Oh, I forgot to tell my husband, right? It's going to tell him. I usually tell them, 2 or 3 hours before the appointment, I try to email them, because if you do it too early, sometimes they'll just make an excuse and say, we have to cancel it. Like, if I tell them first thing in the morning and I have an evening appointment, sometimes I'll try to weasel out of it. But if I give them less time to weasel out of it, like 2 or 3 hours, they won't. Okay. So it's important to do that. Like I said, if no reply to the first or initial email, call them back in 15 minutes. Or if you're telling them to, check their email while you're on the phone, you could skip that part. Just make sure you remind them the next day. So sometimes setting next days and same days are difficult. Sometimes you can't get people to get appointments on those days. They are busy. So that just means more reminders. Okay. You should try with all your might to set an appointment within the next day or the same day. I would set at a reasonable number. And what I do is 90% of my appointments are same days or next days. Jess, you've been doing this a while. What is your typical percentage rate of how many you set same day and next day? You're on mute, by the way. Jess? I don't think she can hear me. Anyways, so 90% is typically what I find is good, is a good number, right? Sometimes you can't avoid setting it, but a good way to set them the same day is this. So let's say someone, well, tomorrow night's not going to work. I'm getting home really late. I don't get home until later. Okay, awesome. What time do you usually get home? Well, I'm getting home at around 7. Well, I've got a 7:30 available. That works for you, right? They don't know we work evenings, right? Oh, yeah, cool. 7:30 works. Perfect. Boom, I set the appointment. Or if they say, yeah, tomorrow's not going to work, I've got to take the kids to ballet or something. Oh, that sounds fun. Is that good for you or is it boring? They're like, oh, it's good. Awesome. Because it wouldn't be boring to watch, my kids do that either. What time do you guys usually get home from that? Oh, we don't get home until 7:30. That's all right. I've got an 8 p.m. available. That works for you both, right? Oh, yeah, that works for us both. Okay. Next one. Well, we work opposite shifts. I won't see my wife and because she works nights and I work days. Okay, what time are you guys usually up in the morning? Well, we're up around 7 a.m. Perfect. I've got a 7:30 a.m. available. That works for you both, right? See, we're not subduing to their limitations. We are creating the opportunity for them to meet with them same day or next day. Okay.
Hey, like, I'm sorry I missed you. I was listening to his mom.
Oh, that's okay.
I just fed her not too long ago and she's on the phone with somebody.
Okay.
So.
How is mommy?
Feisty.
Yes,
great.
always feisty, always feisty. Good. Man. So yeah, going back to the question I was asking earlier, what percentage of your appointments do you set same day or next day?
Oh, at least I try to set at least 90% of them that way.
Yeah.
If I go past 2 to 3 days, it just that's when I have to stay in contact, and send them a reminder on their calendar. So
yeah. And you know what, guys, you're going to get good at this and you're going to be able to tell what type of client they are. As you are going through dialing, you're going to notice their tone, how they're talking to you. If they're not laughing at your jokes or anything like that, if they're really cut and dry and to the point, if they're a young kid and they didn't seem very interested to begin with, you're going to notice that. So if you have to set it that many days out, I would say double book yourself. So set an appointment for 6:30 to 7:30 and then put someone right in there that's solid at 7. That way, if that 6:30 confirms, you can go ahead and just talk to the 7 and then reset them a little bit later. They're usually okay with that. If the 6:30 doesn't confirm, no sweat, you just roll with your 7 p.m. That way you use your time efficiently. Okay, so don't be afraid to double book yourself on stuff you're worried about. Okay, if you do get a no-show, just go back and you've set that hour aside to meet with them. So use that time to dial. Okay. Especially if you're using life leads, you can do a 1-call close in that time. It's huge. It's amazing. We never had this in the beginning. So there's so many things that you can do to be efficient in this. Jared Leifert raised his hand. What's up, Jared?
It's Miss Lightfoot to you.
Oh, I didn't see camera. What's up, Danielle?
We're listening together. So, hey, so I had a question. So my tie down, at the end of our phone call, I do basically everything that you've said. I just say, like, do me a favor when you get the email, hit that yes button, because that actually confirms the appointment on our end and locks your time in. People will accept that, but for the ones that do not accept it, tell me kind of what you do. I have been sending them a text the day of the appointment, say it's not same day, it's next day. And I'll just say, hey, we haven't received your confirmation. Please reply with yes to confirm or R to reschedule. What do you do in that instance when you don't get a confirmation?
So I'm pretty persistent. I do the exact opposite of what we used to do with face-to-face. If you set an appointment, you didn't want to pick up the phone or call that person back just in case they canceled until you met with them. But in this sense, I call them because I know if I call them and they do need to reschedule or they forgot, A, I reconfirm the appointment. B, I can reschedule with them right on the spot, right on the phone. It's much easier to reschedule someone on the phone than it is via text or email. So if I don't hear from them or they don't accept it and they didn't pick up my call after 15 minutes, the next day I'm going to call them at 9 or 10 in the morning. And then I'm just going to keep calling them, you know, a couple hours throughout the day, maybe shoot them a text, try to get them back on the phone to reconfirm. If I don't hear anything from them, then I know to roll and replace that time slot. And I do that ahead of time, so I give myself time to set an appointment in that slot.
Okay, that's great. So if they don't accept it within 15 minutes of you talking with them, then you give them a call right then and there.
Yeah, and I'll joke with them, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you just make it something trivial.
You're like,
hey,
I know you're stuck in ballerina. Yeah, ballerina.
Yeah,
class.
exactly.
You hit the confirmation better. Okay, perfect. Well, that is awesome. That's gonna be helpful. I'm gonna start calling instead of texting. So that was great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lake.
Yeah, you know, that's something that I did. We kind of, our generations, you know, texting is so easy, right? I prefer texting everybody. You know, it's much easier to hold a conversation that way. I barely call any of my friends, really. We all text. But with clients, they can't hear your tone, they can't hear your intonation. Sometimes they need to be reminded of how you made them feel. And it's just that second point of contact that really helps. One other thing I did want to mention is with people who do not accept or they forget, it doesn't mean that it's a no right now, or if they might no show, keep them in a pile for later. You know, as long as you keep being nice to these people and being politely persistent, they'll either tell you straight up no, that way you can resolve the lead, or it's just not right now and you can set it later. So it's a pretty convenient thing. So we got a couple other questions. Jason Wells.
Hello. Yesterday during Aaron's call, it was actually brought up about when the invite was sent for the Zoom meeting, that the accept or deny option wasn't appearing for people. So I actually did some research into it, and I found that if the person you're sending this to is using Office 365, it's recognizing that it's a meeting invite and doesn't display the accept or deny. Instead, it's going to be in the top ribbon bar under the meeting tab is where you'll get your approve or deny option. So in case anyone's looking for it, that's where it is.
Perfect. Yeah, awesome, Jason. That's awesome. Jason is a computer whiz. He knows them inside and out. So always thankful for your help, Jason. I don't use the accept or deny, you know, because I don't want to give them the option to deny. I just want to call them and talk to them. But we have people that have great success with it. So don't be afraid of using it if that's something that works for you. JP, did you have another question?
I did. Thank you. The question or the comment. So 100% of my appointments accept every time. I haven't had one in like a month and a half that hasn't accepted. So my experience has been, I sit on the phone with them and I'm actually, and this is a different style, guys. Lake is amazing. He's way more consistent than me. That's why he's in that chair than I am. But what I'm going to say is I absolutely love doing it because it gives me an opportunity right then and there to start having more rapport with them. It's okay, Ms. Jones. I'm sitting here. I'm actually typing some notes out, so I'm super prepared for our meeting tomorrow. That was at 6:30, right? Yeah. See, I got to do it again. So we all have our styles, and I think what I'm taking away from this, if I was brand new, is this is an incredibly good template to work with, and you're going to find your own style, but please don't stray too far. Please don't stray too far. The other thing is, I was going to say exactly what you said is tonality and speaking to them as opposed to texting. I've started to more often text an hour beforehand. I had 2 meetings canceled this week. 100% of them got to me immediately saying, I'm so sorry. I missed it, whatever, in an email or a call back to me. And it's the art of what he's talking about. You don't want an appointment to just blow you off. Getting the rapport and spending that extra minute or whatever it takes is really going to make a difference and set you apart from so many other people. So I just wanted to say that quickly.
Yeah, awesome, JP. Question for
Welcome.
you. How long do you talk to your clients when you're setting appointments?
Mine are a lot longer than what you just did. I'm 15,
Okay.
20 minutes sometimes because I'm actually getting into as much as I can. I mean, I shouldn't say 15, 20 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes on average. I like to spend a few extra minutes.
Yes.
And really talk to them.
Okay. So that's great. It works for you. You know, when it comes to getting into higher volume, you want to collapse timetables. So
Sure.
I ran into this in the very beginning, actually. I was a lot like you, JP, because we can talk to people for hours, right? It's something that's natural for us extroverts. You know, we can just find some common ground and go on and talk forever. And we can, you know, reel back into the task at hand. And we're really good at that. But what I found is by having those really, really long conversations, you get let down more when they don't show up, right? But B, you don't set as many as appointments as you could. So my average call time is 5 to 7 minutes now, you know, and of course you're going to have, you know, people that keep you on the phone for 15 minutes. That's okay. But you can still build enough rapport and have a large number of them show up if you keep it 5 to 7 minutes. They understand you have a job to do and you can get everything out. So I would encourage you to talk to your upline about it and say, you know, try to get to 5 to 7 minutes so that way you can get a higher volume of appointments in your week, right?
Yeah.
That way, if when you get, instead of getting 4 sets per hour, you can get 8 sets per hour, right? That little switch will get you so much more volume. And that's why I was able to become a 20K producer consistently, was just a little bit quicker. You know, and building just enough to report to be a little teaser taste and get them excited to talk about me and be real, you know, we're casual about it. You know, you and I are very, very casual, easygoing, and people really enjoy that. So by doing that, we can get away with a lot.
Perfect. Appreciate that. That's great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Danielle and Jared, are you still raising your hand? You got another question?
She forgot. I know her. I know she did.
Oh, I heard that, JP. I'm sorry. I didn't put it down. I'll do it.
All right. We love
Okay,
you.
thanks, guys.
We love you, sister.
Yeah. All
Love
right.
y'all.
Love y'all. So, any other questions before we wrap up tonight? Kim Glass, let's go. What's up, Kim?
Hey, hello. Hey, I had a reject recently, and it's so hard to not get like offended by that because for one, he originally hung up on me when I first talked to him. He gave me a lot of information when I was getting, you know, to the point of setting the original meeting, and I mean, I had everything I needed to quote him, so I did it. And I called him back, gave him a little time, called him back. I said, you know, you've really been on my mind, and I put some things together because I know you're about to term out from what you told me. I said, that's correct, right? Have you got anything in place? I said, no. I said, well, I really just had you on my mind, you and your family, and I put some things together. I said, let's set up a Zoom. So he was like, okay, let's do it. He canceled like 5 minutes before. And I reached out to see, you know, try to call to see if there was something that came up, you know, try to send him an email. I know things come up sometimes, and I have not heard back from him. So what would your approach be now with that?
Yeah, good question. So something that I tried to be mindful of, I'm not perfect on this, but was this an age lead or tier 1 lead perchance?
Yes, it was an age TOG 4 or 2. I can't remember which one.
Yeah. So if someone hasn't done something, right, they've already met with someone or they've talked to someone, most likely with a tier 1 lead. So we need to ask them why that is, right? That's going to flush out an objection, because if we don't get that information and we don't hit it on head first, guess what? Even though you did a good job for him and you set that appointment, he's still going to think it's too expensive and not want to do it. Even at the last minute, we're creatures of habit, right? It was too expensive last time. What can this lady do? I don't care how nice she was. right? So I would just ask him, hey, John, just curious, did you meet with anybody before I called you? Yeah, I met with a couple guys. Okay, what was the reason you didn't go with anything? And he'll tell you right there. And that's your key into the sale, really. You just improve on the mistakes that the other agents made because they didn't listen to them. They didn't tailor fit the needs. He might have a policy that's terming out, right? Talk to him about something that's going to be a little bit more interesting, something that he may be able to get his money back, right? He may be able to build cash value. His term probably didn't have living benefits, right? Give a little bit of incentive in there to show up, because sometimes if there's enough incentive, he's going to be like, it's probably going to be way too expensive. I want to hear about this living benefits. Boom, he's going to show up, right? Sometimes it's going to happen. I still get three, maybe 3 or 4 either cancellations or no shows a week. That's normal with virtual, guys. It's just going to happen. You can't just live your whole life and be disappointed that you had a really nice conversation with people and they didn't show up, right? Stuff happens. I have a nice little text that I can send y'all. What it's going to do. Actually, let me do this real quick. I want to try something new. Okay, this is a client no-show text. It says, hey, Tim and Tina, I know we had a meeting around 8 p.m. tonight. I understand things come up and you couldn't be there. Just don't feel embarrassed and let's get this back on the books. I know how important this is for you and your family. Send a text or give me a ring back when you can. Lake. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat so y'all can have it. So let me do a couple of tricks to get that done. Let's see. And then sometimes people are just embarrassed that they missed your appointment. That's why this text is good, because they really meant to be there and then they just kind of get too embarrassed to talk to you about it. And we don't want that to happen. This is actually something that Nelson and Aaron came up with. And I use it and it works pretty well. And then again, yes, I will, Jared. Let's see, go back. I guess I got to share my screen while I'm recording. When you see my email, just don't look at how many times I ordered DoorDash. It's been too many times. All right. All right, if you look at your chat, you can check that out. Perfect, just sent it in so everyone can have it. I'll also put it in the GT agency so that you guys can have it. We've got a few more minutes. Any other questions? Tammy.
Hey, Lake.
Hey.
I just wanted to clarify. So you were saying text, but that looks like an email. So do you do like an actual text?
Yeah. So I didn't have it on my computer, so I emailed it to myself so I could copy it and put it in the chat.
I see. And then
yeah,
I don't know if I should ask Nelson or you or who I should ask, but you know how you have like your little like a electronic business card kind of thing?
Yep.
Did you just do that on your own, or is there like a way we're supposed to do it where we set that up?
Yeah, great question. So this is why we want to pay attention to workplace, because this is a special offer that the Leisure Group got us. So we get a discount on Hi Hello, which is a cool app. So you can go in and search Hi Hello in Workplace and get signed up for it.
Yeah, I think I need to do that. I was talking with a gentleman today in Arizona, an older gentleman, and he was kind of guarded. You know what I mean? He was guarded and kind of like didn't want to give up a lot of information because he said, well, is this a private line? And, where are you even calling from? So I just felt like if I had something to offer that looked professional, then he would be like, oh, okay, you actually are somebody I can give information to.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, you get these people from time to time, especially if they're older or they've been recently scammed.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'll send them my hi, hello, and say, hey, just so you know, I work with state and federally regulated insurance products. Here's my state license, so you know that this is legit. And here's a link to the state website to show that I am licensed to do this. I'm not only going to show you my license, I'm going to show you state proof. And you can go to any state insurance bureau website and you just type like look up a producer or whatever, and then you can type in your license number. You'll pop up, copy that link, and send, save it so you can send it to your clients if they have questions, which is pretty cool. Great question, Tammy.
Thank you. I like that.
You got any other questions? We got 2 minutes. We got time for a couple more. I know we've got a couple here.
I can give you another question, something else.
Let's do it.
Today.
Let's do it, Tammy.
Nobody else. Okay. So I don't know if you heard at the end of our last little Zoom thing with Nelson, he said he was going to help me with my first appointment, which I was so excited about. So earlier today I'd spoken with the husband, and he was the one that was hesitant, to give information. He was very guarded. But he went ahead and set the appointment for 5:15 my time. And so I called at 5 just to confirm, that we were still good for 5:15, and his wife had gotten home. And he said, well, my wife is here now. Can you just explain to her what this is about? So I briefly, went over what the Zoom meeting was going to be. And she was in the distance, like when somebody's in the background, and she said, she goes, honey, we've already got that. Like, we already have life insurance. We're covered. We just got that. And I tried to offer a policy review and twice. And I said, we can go over what your coverage is and if it's fitting into your budget. Like, I was really trying. But the wife was kind of in the distance, and she was just like, no, we're good. She's like, tell her we're good. Like, she wasn't really listening to me, and she was telling her husband what to do. And it sounded like she was kind of the boss in the relationship.
Yeah. So what you're going to want to,
I wasn't prepared at all for it to go that direction. So I felt like I was kind of stumbling. Like, I felt like I was just kind of throwing a curveball, and I just wasn't ready.
So if you just come at it with confidence, hey, do you mind putting her on the phone real quick? Boom. You get her right on the phone, right? Talk to her. Hey, so you and your husband talked about I heard you in the distance that you guys got coverage. Oh man, that's awesome. What did you guys end up going with? Right. And then you just start the phone script all over again. Basically, you ask her what you went up going with, you find a way to improve on it and say, hey, we're supposed to meet in 10 minutes anyways. Let's hop on, compare apples to apples. And if you guys have excellent products, we're not going to change anything. We want to leave you better than where we found you. Okay. At the very least, you got a second opinion on your great coverage. That sounds good, right?
Yeah. I need like a little tiny lake right here on my shoulder. Like,
you'll get there. You'll get there. Just absorb as much as you can, hop on all these calls. And you're doing the right thing. So great questions, Tammy. It's 8:46. We're going to shut it down for tonight. We'll be back next week at 8 p.m. Wednesday. I hope you guys all have a great week. I hope you have your goals ready for the month. Reverse engineer your goals with your upline. If you don't know what that means, call them and talk to them because they will help you and go crush it. So have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Lake.
Thanks, Lake. Bye.
Thanks, Lake.
Later. You're welcome.